สาววิ่งมาจะวางอวนให้ยัง
Uh-oh. Hey folks, and welcome to a beautiful day here in Bangsaen. I'm just coming back from dropping some parts off at the motorcycle store for the other bike. That's coming along well. We'll do an update on that soon. But this morning, I guess it's about lunchtime right now, a little after lunchtime maybe. But this morning, I usually wake up at about the crack of dawn, but this morning I was up before the dawn even cracked. We went out on a local fishing boat this morning. I've always seen these small fishing boats. They're usually wooden. They're usually red and blue, and they're very small time type commercial boats. Usually just kind of a mom and pop operation, and it's kind of how they make their living. And I always wondered, how they fished and what they caught and just kind of what it was like. So I found a guy willing to take us out, and that's what we're going to do. So let's go back to this morning and do a little fishing. It's just before 5 a.m. and Bee's got on her fishing hat, so I guess that means we're going fishing. So meet Ball. That's like Paul, but with a B. And he's the owner of the vessel that we're going to go out on today. He's just sorting out the net right now, getting that all ready. There's his boat. And this is kind of a family affair. I think it's a family tradition. He's got this boat. His older brother has a boat. And like I said, it's kind of the way the family has made their living over, generations. So just get settled in here. It's a small boat. I'll tell you a little bit more about it as we get underway. But I didn't get my feet wet getting in. I stayed dry. So I apologize for the dark and, kind of grainy and weirdly lit video, but it will improve as the trip progresses. We got to start out here before the sun even thinks about coming up to make it out to the fishing grounds where he wants to drop the net at a reasonable time. So I guess the plan is to get out there and drop a buoy and get the net set, and then wait about a half hour. And then by the time it just starts getting light, then we can think about pulling the net up. So to get all that sorted, you have to leave early, and that's what we did. So it'll improve. So we're just out at the first location now, and he's been letting that net out. It's almost all the way let out, and then he'll use that jug there as like a float to mark the end of it. The other end is tethered off to somewhat of a buoy that he put out. So we just got the net out. I guess it's about 100-meter long net, and it's kind of tethered to a buoy on one end and a float on the other. And then we'll go back and pull it up and see what we got. I guess this boat's about 15 feet long, maybe 16, definitely no bigger than 16 feet. The beam on it, maybe 4.5, maybe 5 feet. It's narrow. I guess you call it like a sampan. I'm not sure. I guess that's the anchor. Looks like about a 5-pound brick. Yeah, so Ball kind of makes this look easy with the net and letting the net out. And if I touched that net, it would probably end up in 10 knots. But I think we got it out around 5:30, and he says about 30 minutes of just letting the net sit in the water and soak. And then around 6 o'clock, 30 minutes later, we'll go back and we'll pull it up and see what we get. Getting ready to go back and pull up the net. I guess we're only about
maybe a half mile. I could be wrong. It's hard to judge distance, but that's about what it seems like. Not sure how deep the water is here either.
ต้องกลางคืนใช่ไหมถึง
เมื่อวานเย็นเมื่อวานได้เยอะ
เหรอ
แต่ไม่รู้นะน้ำมันไล่ไปนี่
ใช่ไหม
ไปจนหมดแล้ว
หรือว่ามีคนดับไปก่อนหน้านี้
Yeah, so he kind of stands at the bow of the boat, and just the boat's cruising along very, very slow, ever so slow, and he just pulls this net up and kind of lets it all form into a ball down there, and then he'll wrap that up in this blue tarp. And he's getting the fish. We're getting some fish come off this. Some small ones, 6 or 8 inches long, I guess, and some ones a little bit smaller than that. I haven't seen anything really big come off the net yet. But he said yesterday he had a very good day. I was kind of hoping that would continue into today. I think these are called yellowtail scads. I believe that's what they are, yellowtail scads. And I see these at all the markets for sale, so the local people eat these definitely. So he is catching something he can sell. There's no junk fish or anything like that.
I think this net was a little longer than 100 meters, probably 300 meters. I've been pulling it up now for gotta be 10 minutes. The sun's just rising over there. I don't know if it'll come out. See that there's a buoy over there with an orange and blue flag on it, and that's one end of that's where the net was tethered to on one end.
So yeah, once he's got the net all pulled in, he just leaves the fish attached to the net, leaves all that in there. He'll kind of wrap this thing all up in this other blue net or tarp or whatever it is, and then he'll put that down in like a live well, where there's water down there. It's kind of like the bilge down there, whatever. He's got to pull up the next one. That's the next net that we'll let out, and I'll put this one down there for safekeeping. So when he gets back to the dock, he'll stretch those nets out just like he did at the very beginning of the video over that little metal fence type thing, and all the fish will come off, and he'll gather them up and put them in bins and sell it or whatever. So now he's got the next net ball over there on the stern of the boat, and we will head out to another location. This first one was lackluster. Yeah, we got some fish, but not many. For that big long net, it was kind of disappointing.
I think we're a little farther out. It's gotta be about 2 miles out now. This will be the second net. Probably close to 6:30 by now. The sea's a little rougher out here.
What?
น้ำมันหมด
หมดเหรอ
เกิดอะไรขึ้นฮะอะไรก่อนงามไส้เลยทำไง
เป็นไร
จับได้ไหม
ติดได้
จริงป่ะให้มันเย็นก่อนขั้นตายแล้ว
ลูกสาววิ่งมาจะวางอวนให้ยัง
เดี๋ยวทำไม
ไม่เป็นไรพี่น้องเราอยู่นี่
เครื่องมันร้อนใช่ไหม
มันจะเป็นน้ำมันเครื่องน้อยกว่านี้
น้ำมันเครื่องมันออก
เครื่องมันร้อนอ่ะ
น้ำมันเครื่องมันออกอะสิ
ใช่
ใช่เปล่า
ใช่
เนี่ยน้ำมันเครื่องมันออก
เครื่องมันร้อนเนี่ยน้ำมันเครื่องไม่มีเนี่ยไหม้นั่นน่ะ
น้ำมันเครื่องมันออก
แล้วทำไง ใครมาแล้ว
ไม่เป็นไรผมโทรศัพท์เขามารับแล้ว
Uh-oh.
So it's about this time that I noticed that we don't have any life vests or life preservers. With all the confusion, getting up early and getting all my equipment and gear together to go out there and make sure I've got all my cameras, my battery, all that stuff. I didn't even think about a life jacket. I just assumed they'd be on the boat, but they're not. But he does have some kind of large plastic bins that might keep us afloat, I guess. So we're basically just adrift. Lost engine. Guess he's going to try to get it started. I don't know. We're a couple miles out and adrift. So, see what happens from here. Apparently the bilge pump is still working. That's a good thing. I don't think we'll sink. It's kind of funny, the engine just stopped. It was running perfectly, and then we slowed down to get ready to cast the net, and it just stopped. Boom. I thought he could just restart it, but apparently that's some kind of major failure. So.
เครื่องมันน็อกฮะน้ำมันค่ะน้ำมันไม่วิ่ง
That's a good sign. But he doesn't look too happy, so we'll see.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was something out of the ordinary or if that happens all the time, but as soon as he got the boat running, we were kind of back in business. He's getting ready to getting everything together that he needs to do the second net with.
I guess we're all good. I'm going to cast another net. The first net wasn't too good. It was less fish than expected, some small ones. So we'll hope the second net is a little bit better.
So once again, he'll feed that off the stern of the boat, and then we'll kind of circle back around, wait about a half an hour, and then we'll start pulling it up.
We're going to pull up the second net. See if this one's any better than the first net.
So he starts pulling in the second net here, and right off the bat, I don't see any fish, but it's a long net, and I'm thinking, well, we'll just see what happens. These fish go in schools, so you might have nothing in most of the net, and then one part of the net might have caught a whole school of fish. You never know. But as time went on, as more of the net he pulled in, it kind of became patently obvious that we weren't getting anything. I don't think we even got one single solitary fish on the whole second net, which I don't know how many was in the first net, but maybe two to 3 dozen fish. But this one, I didn't see a single fish, so I'm starting to feel kind of bad for this guy. He had some problems with his engine, and didn't get a whole lot the first cast, and then this one was a total dud. So hopefully it gets better from here.
Guess that's how it goes. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't.
So he's got back on the throttle and heading back in toward land. He's going to try a third net closer to land, but before we could get that close, I guess we got within about a half a mile, and this happened. So yeah, if you guessed the engine stalled again, you'd be correct. This time, apparently there was no restarting it. He radioed, or I guess used his cell phone, and called for his brother. That's his older brother there, and he came to the rescue with his boat, and he's going to tow us in. So that's how we got back to shore. And so that's how it went. All the way back in the shore, we got towed. I mean, luckily we had very calm seas. It was a beautiful morning. We probably only waited about 20-25 minutes for the brother to come and rescue us from the deep there, but I'm sure that he probably has done the same thing for him on occasion. So I was able to catch back up with Ball at the end of the day after dinner time, and I found him sitting down at the docks. He was scaling and cleaning fish. Turns out after this little morning venture, he went out with his brother later on in the day, and they did quite well. They had buckets of fish, coolers of fish, nice sized fish, and they were busy away scaling and cleaning them. So all's not lost. He said his boat still isn't running though. So that's it's not an easy way to make a living. Your income's linked directly to what you catch, but it is a way to make a living, I guess. So that'll do it for this fishing episode. You know, I did a fishing episode 4 or 5 weeks ago, fishing off the fishing pier across from my condo there, and I caught a nice sized fish and all that. And people seem to like that style of video, so I wanted to do more fishing, but it's all closed now. The fishing pier is still closed, the beach is closed, so there really is nowhere for me to fish. And I thought I would just go out on the boat and see how they do the net fishing, maybe as a little kind of a bridge to bridge the gap between my next fishing episode, which will be I don't know whenever they open up the fishing pier and or the beach and the waterfront. So anyway, I'll just go ahead and leave this off here, and as usual, I'll thank you for watching, and until next time, bye for now.